Many British people choose beautiful France as their place of residence. But after the UK left the EU, they have to come to terms with new rules, some of which have still not been agreed by the governments. Thousands of driver's licenses could therefore fall by the wayside. Thousands of Britons in France no longer have a valid driver's license or are at risk of losing it in the next few months, according to a report. The governments of the two countries have still not agreed on a successor agreement after Britain's exit from the European Union, explains the British Guardian. About 3,000 British people are really concerned. The newspaper quotes Kim Cranston, who is said to have moved permanently from England to France 3 years ago. Commuters could lose their jobs. Older people have missed doctor's appointments because they live in remote regions with no well-developed local public transport. She describes testimonials that are shared in a 6,000-person Facebook group. Many Britons would be desperate to think about leaving France again. With the end of the Brexit transition period, the French government announced last December that British citizens would have to exchange their previous driver's license for a French one, and that by the end of the year. However, the requests of those who applied for the change are rejected by the French authorities, citing the lack of an agreement with the British government. Many driver's licenses have therefore already expired or are in danger of becoming invalid in the near future. Driving in France without a valid driver's license can result in a fine of up to 15,000 euros. Instead of switching, the British could also take the French driving test. According to The Guardian, however, this costs up to 1,800 euros, and they also have to pass a language test. According to the information, short-term visitors and British tourists do not need a new driver's license for France. The same rules apply in Germany as in France. British driving licenses are only valid until June 30th, 2021. By the end of this period at the latest, the British must apply for a transfer. How exactly this works has not yet been conclusively clarified as in France. Brits who are subsequently caught by the police without a valid driver's license are committing a crime. The associated fine depends on the income of the person caught and is calculated in daily rates. In Germany, that's between 5 and 360 daily rates, which are possible. In addition to a fine or imprisonment, the vehicle can also be confiscated as a tool of the crime. Brexit is a gift that keeps on giving. And after 4.5 years of negotiations, Brexit was concluded with the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, the TCA, at Christmas of the previous year. The consequence for both parties for bilateral trade and their respective welfare are difficult to assess, since it is a one-off policy experiment. If there are going to be losers, it will be the UK in particular. Although there are no tariffs and quotas in trading goods, new trade barriers such as custom controls are restricting cross-border trade. And I have to emphasize this again. Even if on the UK side it's always called new borders, new controls, new rules. In fact, they are not new. They are new to the UK because they just decided to become a third country, and now they are. But the rules are old. They just newly apply to the UK. And there you have to make a semantic difference there. Most of the studies that analyze the TCA find that the UK is likely to suffer the greatest macroeconomic losses in the medium term, with around 3.5% real GDP, followed by Ireland with minus 2.5%, and the EU27 and Austria are hardly affected in macroeconomic terms. However, there are considerable sectoral differences. In bilateral trade between Austria, for example, and the UK, the agriculture sector is likely to be affected the most. Contrary to the doomsday forecast, the UK economy has not maneuvered itself into recession since the 2016 referendum, but it has grown significantly more slowly than in comparable countries and also more slowly than in previous years. And that was the time before the pandemic. After the referendum, and that means between the second quarter of 2016 and the fourth quarter of 2019, real GDP in the United Kingdom grew at 1.5% a year, more slowly than in the Eurozone that had 1.9%, and in Austria, for example, with 2.1%. The United Kingdom was hit particularly hard by the corona pandemic. Its real GDP shrank by 9.9%, in the Eurozone only by 6.8%, and in Austria, by today's example, 6.6%. The uncertain expectations of how Brexit would ultimately turn out, hard without a trade agreement or soft with any kind of agreement, unsettled both foreign workers and foreign investors. In any case, there has been a significant emigration from the UK since 2016. The net migration of workers decreased, and since the 2016 referendum, there has also been a net outflow of capital from the UK and a significant decrease in foreign direct investment. Trade relations between the EU and the UK are asymmetrical. For the United Kingdom, the EU is more important, with an export share of 46% than the other way round, with an export share of just 15%. In extra EU27 trade, the United Kingdom is the second most important trading partner after the USA in terms of exports. No, it's not anymore. On the import side, the United Kingdom with 10% ranks third after China and the USA with 19 and 12%. The EU27 had a trade surplus of 124 billion euros with the UK in 2019. For Austria, the UK ranks ex aequo with China with a share of total exports of 2.9% in 2019, in ninth place behind Germany with 29.3%, the USA and Italy each with around 6.5%, Switzerland and France a bit more than 4%, as well as Poland, the Czech Republic and Hungary. Austria exported goods worth 4.5 billion euros to the UK in 2019, but imported goods from there only 2.8 billion euros, generating a trade surplus of 1.7 billion euros. Machines and vehicles account for more than half of Austria's exports to the UK with 53%. Motor vehicle exports amount to 25.5%, and the second most important export category is processed goods with 18.9%, followed by consumer goods with 11.3%. Austria also mainly imports machines and vehicles from the UK with an import share of 52.7%. The second most important import category is chemical goods, followed by consumer goods. A subsequent search for a motive for Brexit is pointless. Now both parties have to come to terms with it and make the most of it. But still, they have to stay realistic. The UK is now a third country, so it's impossible to have the same trade like before, because the membership benefits have to stay membership benefits. And so the trade barriers will stay. And the future will tell whether this will succeed. In the withdrawal agreement, the political declaration and the TCA, important approaches for a prosperous future for both sides are formulated. They just have to be put into action. And we know how that goes. And another thing with Brexit, due to the Brexit, the challenger bank N26 can no longer operate with a European license in Great Britain. The shop there will therefore be closed. After Great Britain left the EU as part of Brexit, the German challenger bank N26, founded by the two Austrians Valentin Stalf and Maximilian Thayenthal, announced that it would withdraw from the British market. As things stand at present, the framework conditions would not allow the bank to operate with a European license in Great Britain, says Thomas Grosser, Chief Banking Officer at N26, in a statement. And he said, "Although we fully respect the decision that was made, it means that in due course the bank will not be able to serve our customers in the UK, and we will have to leave the market." N26 also says that although they are leaving the UK, they will continue to focus on global growth and development within the European Union. The challenger bank in the EU only recently broke the 5 million customer mark and is still rising. For the USA, the bank reported at the beginning of 2020 that it already had 250,000 customers there. The scale-up only started in the United States in 2019. This global and intra-European growth also means that the employees currently working in Great Britain will take on new tasks in the growing global team. They say, "We would like to thank all N26 customers for their support," adds Will Sorby, General Manager N26 UK, in the press release. The next steps have been carefully planned to ensure that the process goes so smoothly for the UK customers, so that it will run as smoothly as possible. UK N26 accounts will close on April 15th. Until then, they will continue to work as usual. Customers are asked to transfer their funds to other banks. And so, as I said, Brexit, the gift that keeps on giving. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.